Well, bowling fans, we're back again. This time Sunset Bowl is the site, Joey. First time we've been there for the Youth Challenge Series out here in Waukesha. And a unique format for the 900 Global Challenge because we took the bowlers and we separated them out into age groups this time. 4 different age groups, 15 and under, 16-17, 18-19, 20-21, and of course leading the 20-21 age group. We haven't seen her in a couple of shows, but she's made her way back. Katie Zwiefelhofer.
Killer Katie. She finds a way to get it done no matter what the condition, no matter what the pattern. Again, she's a proven champion. I believe she has 6 titles.
Looking for number 7.
Going for lucky number 7. We'll see if she can get it done today.
And she's going to have to bowl one of 3 newcomers to the telecast as well today. Joey and I are going to get set up for the commentary. Join us from Sunset Bowl in just a moment for the opening match of the 900 Global Challenge.
Hi, this is Kerry Catania, owner of Motion Plus Lanes. Please join us Saturday, December 1st and 2nd for our Marine Toys for Tots 9-pin tap tournament. You can call us today at 414-481-0200.
Opening semifinal here from Sunset Bowl for the 2012 900 Global Challenge. We've got the 15 and under winner, Maddie Beckers, stepping up on lane 3 here at Sunset Bowl, Joey.
Right, Maddie out of Genesee, Wisconsin, an 8-year bowling veteran, began bowling at age 5. What an opening shot, Phil.
You can tell, definitely a veteran. TV lights and first time under him. Doesn't scare Maddie off on her first shot. 10 straight back in the pit. And now Julia Bond out of Aurora, Illinois, the winner of the 16 and 17-year-old girls division today. Winner of this match will take on the winner of our second semifinal.
Yeah, we're going to see some contrasting styles between Julia and Maddie as we see Julia playing deep inside on the lane and gets a little too much back-end reaction from that Storm Frantic. Leaves a 6-7-10.
Yeah, it is a 37-foot pattern the bowlers are on today. It's Kegel's Broadway pattern, so it's not quite PBA or sport compliant, but these young ladies are going to have to make good shots to score out there, and as you can see, she was a little left of where she wanted to be on that shot and pays the full price with the 6-7-10.
And we can see she opts for her spare ball, cross lane. And that was an excellent attempt at converting that split, but she gets 8 all day. And so on a 37-foot pattern, Phil, even though we're on a reasonably new synthetic surface, is her best lane attack playing a deep inside line?
It could be just she needs to get the break point a little farther to the right, maybe bump the entire shot over a little bit. You can't argue with the success she had earlier today. She went through her 16 and 17-year-old bracket. She won 2 games and convincingly over 200 each time in advance.
And she did just that. You could see that ball was right around board 8 at the break point, and she kind of crumbled the bucket.
Yeah, I got that 2-pin out of there kind of late. Watch on the replay here. Headpin goes to the wall first, and the top of the headpin takes the 2-4 out.
Yeah, and it's everybody's friend when the pins do a little work off the sideboards. And Madyson will see with her more direct line to the pocket.
Good post, nice and loose on the bottom of that follow through, and just a little bad break to not get that 7 out, but a little bit has to do with her ball speed too, a little bit slower than Julia's.
Well, yeah, ball speed and her rev rate, I would say, is a little lower as well. And I mean, it was not a bad shot. You know, the 5-pin kind of got paralyzed a little bit and went near the 7, but not quite enough to knock it over.
Maddie had to beat a couple of her good friends to get to the TV show today from the 1500 division, so
So is that fun to beat your friends or not?
I don't think so. I think they got over it after a few minutes, but it's always tough bowling a friend for when it was both their opportunities. McKaylee Hanen and Jaylyn Hanen, two sisters that she beat to get to the TV show today, and she's good friends with them. But they're in the back cheering her on right now, so there weren't any hard feelings once the match was done.
Well, she wasn't going to leave a blower 7 there. She kind of helped it a little bit and missed a little left of target, but again, at 9 spare should be her goal right here. Opting for her spare ball.
Yeah, you see these kids younger and younger. They're getting smarter. They know they need to take the lane out of play, and they switch to that polyester ball. Unfortunately, she kind of dropped that one off her hand a little left.
Yeah, and even though we're on a 37-foot pattern, Phil, and synthetic surface, plastic can still hook plenty. And I mean, little error, and you see she missed it by probably 6 inches.
Yeah, you still get a little turn on the ball, and the ball's still going to move a board or two down lane, and that's enough to miss that single pin spare and let Julia right back in the match here.
Good rotation off the hand.
Oh.
You can't throw it much better, and that's a double tap there, 7-10.
I'm sure we'll get a replay on this one just to watch. Always interesting to see what the 5-pin does on these shots. Oh, we're not going to get a replay on this one. 5-pin on that one looked like it just kind of died getting over in that zone, and we saw the same thing with Maddie's shot in her second frame where the 5 went over and kind of died.
Well, I'm sure Julia's going to replay this a few times on the DVR just to watch exactly what happened. But, I mean, that's a good shot off the hand, but a bad ball reaction down lane.
Winner of this match is going to receive a 900 Global Sure Thing bowling ball. I want to thank 900 Global for their sponsorship, I should say, of the TV show today, not of this match. Match winners have already received a 900 Global 2-ball tote bag, thanks to 900 Global. That's left out of her hand again, and not an easy spare to make on this condition.
Right, and that was well left of target. And again, typically on a 37-foot pattern, most coaches will suggest to their players use the rule of 31, which means your ball should be around board 6 at the break point. Now, what is a player to do, Phil, if there's not enough oil in the front part of the lane to get it to board 6 to take advantage of the 37-foot pattern?
Yeah, I mean, basically it's to the point of either you need to increase your speed, take some hand out of the ball, you go with a little different rotation, or switch balls. It's something that's not going to pick up the lane surface as early.
Right, and I would think that's kind of what Julia's going through right now. She has more hand and more ball than maybe what the condition's asking for, but the game is not over.
Let's see what Maddie can do here. She gets a crossover, and hey, I like to see trip 6s like that myself, but I'm left-handed.
Yeah, Maddie will take that. She had a bad break on that lane last time with the light 7-pin, so she probably figures she's due for a good lucky one there.
We'll remind her of that later on, too.
Oh, yeah.
She got that good break. So
now Maddie wants to say hi to her mom and dad, both for their love and support over the years. Let's see if she can turn this into something like a double, and she does.
A good double to get into the commercial break for this match. Joe Serrano and I will be back from Sunset Bowl in just a moment with the rest of this opening semifinal in the 900 Global Challenge. In 1993, the bowling game disappeared from the Wisconsin airwaves, never to be heard from again. Until now. For one day only, New Year's Day, New Berlin Bowl, the 2013 bowling game. Go to newberlinalehouse.com/bowling or call 262-641-0016 to get all the details on the 2013 bowling game. Sunset Bowl is the site. The 900 Global Challenge is the tournament here, and we've got Julia Bond out of Aurora, Illinois, stepping up in her 5th frame, looking to get back in the match, down by 22 pins early.
She left a pocket 7-10 last time on this lane on a good shot. Stays with the inside line. And again, that was not a bad shot either, and she pays the maximum penalty, Phil.
Yeah, and especially with the way that Storm Frantic is just, it's a hockey stick reaction on the back end, as they call it. It just really takes off. And sometimes that over-under ball reaction can get you in a little bit of trouble just by missing by a board or two.
Well, that's it. I mean, she's definitely throwing it well. You can see she posts at the line and good follow-through, good speed consistency, but when a ball you're using on a 37-foot pattern is a quick response cover, it can be a little tricky.
A little bit. Oh. 900 Global's dirty look out now. new ball of the 900 global line. Haven't thrown one yet, but I've heard some nice things about it so far.
Yeah, we just got done testing that ball for the Bowler's Journal, and it basically gives them a comparable reaction to what the Frantic is, which is good length through lighter amounts of oil with a nice, quick, strong back end response.
So, and then on that shot, she gets a little bit wide of where she wants to go, leaves the 2-4-10, and that's just left out of her hand. And she's in an even bigger hole now. Maddie can cruise the victory here with being a 46 pins working on a double.
Right, and I'm sure Julia is possibly second-guessing her ball choice. You know, when you have 4 splits in the first 6 frames and you're not throwing it badly, you know, you almost have to think maybe I should have used a weaker ball or something that just didn't snap quite as hard. And Maddie, while we're talking, gets a nice little turkey.
Ho-hum just puts it right in the pocket, mixes them up. Away she goes with a 56-pin lead. Looking to extend that out to 66 pins if she can get a strike on this shot. And that was just
a little wide. Yeah, she got the 10-pin out as to avoid the washout. But, you know, again, her game is a little more conservative of a game compared to her opponent. But on a condition like this, it works fine.
Yeah. Just keeping the ball in play and minimizing your mistakes. We saw that a lot during the match play portion of this tournament when we put the bowlers in the brackets in their age groups, and sometimes the bowlers that just kept the ball in play and made spares and got away with a 5 or 6 pin victory.
Right.
The one spare was the difference.
And she's filling the frames. She just has that one lone open.
Julia, high game 279, high series of 758. Been bowling for 5 years since the age of 11, and I want to thank her dad Daniel and her mom Sonia for getting her to the tournament here today and all the help they get her with traveling all over. She's won 3 Illinois State Youth Leader titles, so she's a tournament bowler, no doubt about it.
Yeah, and you know, again, another shot about a board left of her intended target, and it crossed over. And there's times, you know, you just have to take a chance with a different ball quickly and make a read by frame 2 or 3 if possible.
Yeah, the bowlers did get a little practice before they got on the pair, and you know, they both look pretty solid in the pocket. Sometimes it's just a little nerves, sometimes it's just a little bit of transition, and you know, you can get yourself in trouble early. And I saw that in the latest issue of Bowler's Journal, Jody, you've got a nice article talking about lane transition and ball choice.
Right, and that's the biggest bugaboo bowlers tend to face in today's game, is recognizing when the lanes change and which ball do I go to. Especially if you go there with 4 balls, do we always know the best choice to go to when our benchmark or read ball goes away?
Well, she benchmarked that 9-pin there,
yes,
no doubt about that.
Did. And we can see she's got game, she's got power. You see very minimal, in fact, no deflection. A little deflection would have carried the 9, but
would have been nice for her there. And all of 16 years old, and you know, there's a bright future for Julie out there, even with the little struggles she's had in this match so far.
Yeah, that little smiley face spare ball's frowning right now, I think. But
it's getting overuse. It's not happy with itself.
Yeah,
it likes to stay on the rack and smile at you.
Yeah, we've all had days where we give our spare balls quite a workout, but
Maddie, high flush again on that lane.
Dropped it right in the slot there, and no deflection on that ball.
You know, our next match with Jessica Reichert and with familiar face Katie Zwiefelhofer, 2 young ladies that have a very similar game out on the lane direction-wise that Maddie does here. Very straight, very firm with their speed, and could be a little more transition these bowlers might be used to when they get up in the next couple of matches playing on each other's lines.
Another double for Maddie, and you know, on her bio sheet, she says she did start with a more aggressive ball and decided to go to a weaker piece, possibly to just play her favorite line, which would be the outside line.
And just stayed direct. Julia, she joked around on her lane strategy before the match was stand left and throw right, ha-ha, but she did play up the boards a little bit more on the fresh, and with the condition being slightly broken in when they got in on the TV pair here, I think she just got kind of fooled a little bit and went too deep too quick.
Right.
No problem covering up that 2-pin on the spare. You get dizzy looking at all those smiley faces on that ball as it goes down
Yes,
land.
you do.
So,
you know, and that's the thing when it's a one-game match, we know it goes by really quickly, quicker than probably our listeners and viewers out in TV land are realizing, but it's hard to make moves or changes too quickly.
And when you only got 10 frames out there, it's sometimes you just got to go at your gut and have it help you get you there.
Right.
So
And we see that even on PBA Tour matches. They'll interview the player afterwards. Yeah, I should have used this ball, and I got fooled in shadow balls, and so it happens to the best of them.
yeah.
But that's how we learn from this game, not by when things go our way, but when things don't go our way.
Yeah, and I think Julie's going to learn if she can strike here. 145 is her max. Obviously far from the worst game we've ever had in the U Challenge Series telecast, but she's not happy with herself right now. But with her personality, she's going to go back and start working hard when she goes home to Riverland Bowl in Aurora and start practicing and get better and make the next show she can possibly make. Well, Maddie in cruise control here. Let's see if she maybe does an area check or something. She's got the victory locked up.
Well, she's got 200 locked up, so we may just see what's out there a little bit.
That seemed a little left off her hand, Joey.
Yeah, it may have been a little left, and it just kind of held pocket. Now, she did miss, I believe, a single pin earlier, but she missed a 3-pin.
Yeah.
So this is her second attempt at a pin left of center.
Yep. And Maddie, a product of the Sunset Lanes junior program here. Lynn Tyree Cook in charge of that. And Lynn, you're going to have to get these kids working on single pins a little bit more.
So an extra coat of polish on that ball might have made that.
That's true. 202 to 144. Maddie Beckers goes to our final match. We'll be back with our second semifinal from Sunset Bowl for the 900 Global Challenge in just a moment. Make sure you stay tuned. Barbiere's, a Milwaukee institution since 1963. Great Italian food for dine-in or carry-out, and great times for your family and friends. Barbiere's, in the heart of South Milwaukee, and near Miller Park on Blue Mound Road. Join Steve Sparky Pfeiffer, Van the Man McNeil, Dwight 5-time Albrecht, and other guests as they talk about the PBA Tour and local bowling on the Spare Time Bowling Show, Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. on Sports Radio 1250, WSSP. One semifinal in the books with Maddie Beckers moving on to the championship match. We're going to find out our second championship match contestant here in the 2012 900 Global Challenge. And Joey, we got Jessica Reichert starting us off on lane 3 at Sunset Bowl.
Yes, Jessica bowling out of Sunset Bowl. High game of 278, and we can see why. She's got a lot of power.
Yes, indeed. Bowling for quite a while. I remember when Lynn Tyree Cook started bringing the youth program back here, stopped by a few times, and Jessica and her brother Mitchell were two of the first bowlers to sign up for the program when Lynn started it again, and both have made a lot of progress. Mitchell just missing out on the boys' side of the telecast when you see that in a short time here on Time Warner Cable Sports 32, and another single pin miss we see out of the ladies today.
And that was an unusual ball selection for Jessica. She went from her strike ball, the track 916, to a stronger hooking ball for her spare attempt, the Defiant.
Could be a little bit of nerves there, or just thought maybe she'd have a little more oil going across lane and want to make sure it got back, and got a little too far back. And you've seen her once, you've seen her probably 30 times on our shows now between all the games she's bowled at. Katie Zwiefelhofer.
Yes, the Katie Zwiefelhofer show.
Busy year for her at Whitewater again. Junior out there studying accounting. Dad Steve in the background, Ruth Ann cheering on as well.
Yeah, Katie, a simplistic game, but a very good mental game, and she understands her equipment, knows little intricacies such as hand positions make a difference, and isn't all wrapped up with trying to hook the ball, Phil.
Well, and Katie in her bracket in the 20 and 21-year-old age group had about two of her Whitewater teammates, Melissa Molbeck and Ashley Bell, and wow.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about. I mean, a lot of revs on that ball, good speed, good direction, and gets the love tap on the 4-pin.
Yeah. You get those breaks, you make those breaks yourself. And Katie, when Katie and Ashley and Melissa were bowling each other, it was all business. There was no friendship or teammate stuff on the lanes today, but now that they're done, Ashley's cheering her on. Jessica's got a big cheering section from the Sunset Bowl crowd back there.
And Jessica's game we can watch on her slide. As opposed to sliding, she chooses to plant, which a lot of modern players do, and that can actually help create a little bit more leverage and power.
Yeah, it really dips through with that knee to get loose and gets a lucky break for a double.
Yeah, well, she's a tall girl.
Both these players are, they can definitely look each other in the eye, no doubt about that. I want to thank the Hanen family, Mike Hanen, the owner here, his wife Tricia, and the rest of the staff here at Sunset Bowl for being great tournament hosts. First time we've been here with the U Challenge Series. sure we'll be back very soon. They did a nice remodel here, and
a strong shot from Katie there using a Storm Anarchy, one of her smoother ball reactions. And again, in a 37-foot pattern, I would agree smooth would be better choice than skid flip.
yeah, and we saw that in the first match with Julia. The skid flip got her in trouble a little bit, and we've never seen Katie to be one out on the lanes that doesn't try just using point A to point B as often as possible. Great post at the line.
And she made the adjustment off of that 4-pin. Oh, she didn't leave the 4. She tripped the 4, but I think she bumped her feet in a little bit just to take advantage of what little oil is there.
Exactly. I mean, even with non-aggressive equipment, there's still oil removal off the lanes, and with Broadway being a pretty light pattern, you're going to see the ladies make adjustments even maybe between shots. And wow, they've come out striking today.
We had turkey, and I mean, it easily could be a tie match. But, you know, even the tamer reactive resins still absorb oil. You're right, Phil, whereas urethanes and plastics will just carry oil down. The tame reactives will still suck it up.
Ooh, that's just that was left in her backswing, Joey. Lucky to get the 8-pin out of that leave.
Yeah, you know, this spare, I don't even know what pins are up there, but we know it's a tough spare.
Picket fence. Usually you see the lefties leave that.
That's really challenging without the 8-pin, and near impossible with the 8-pin.
I mean, if you make a pocket shot, you might put that 6 into the gutter around the 10. Maybe try to get all the pins with the ball, take a little hand out of it.
She needs that 3-pin to be the key pin, and it just chopped it off.
Going to go into the break with an open frame. Katie Zwiefelhofer with a 29-pin lead, and we'll be back from Sunset Bowl in just a moment with more of this semifinal. In 1993, the bowling game disappeared from the Wisconsin airwaves, never to be heard from again. Until now. For one day only, New Year's Day, New Berlin Bowl, the 2013 bowling game. Go to newberlinalehouse.com/bowling or call 262-641-0016 to get all the details on the 2013 bowling game. Back for the second half of our girls' second semifinal for the 900 Global Challenge. Katie Zwiefelhofer working on a 3-bagger, extended her lead on the bench, Joey, after Jessica Reichert opened her 5th frame.
Well, that's right. You don't want to spot Pete Weber any pins. You don't want to spot Katie Zwiefelhofer any pins because, you know, even though she didn't strike there, she does not open. You know, she'll throw a bad shot now and then she'll throw 5 good ones, but she fills the frames. She knows how to handle the pressure in the pressure situations. And that's probably why she's won more events than any other girl in our history.
She's looking for her 7th Youth Challenge Series title today. That would be more than any other boy or girl in the history of the Youth Challenge Series, the 5+ year history.
And again, that spare conversion was huge because you want to put a little salt in your opponent's wound. And so she now has a 27-pin lead, I believe, if the math is correct.
Yes, indeed.
And Katie does want to give a little shout out to her bowling buddy Ashley Bell, state champion Ashley Bell.
Yes, indeed.
And one of her closest, if not closest friend at Whitewater.
Yep. Ashley back cheering around, Melissa Molbeck cheering around, and Katie right back striking again.
And that was such a solid shot. She slid the 7 into the gutter, and it stood up in the gutter.
Well, Jessica wasted no time stepping up here. She knows it's going to have to be all strikes here to catch up because she knows her opponent's not going to leave too many mistakes on the lane, and a great comeback shot on lane 4.
Yeah, and again, she bounced back the way a true champion does. And now again, let's figure out this left lane, which, again, she missed the head pin left, which is uncommon for Jessica, so she can gather herself here.
And I think that one was just she got the ball in the push away a little quick, and it was coming through, and she tried saving it, and they yanked it left, and she's a little left again on that shot.
Yeah, that's back-to-back yips there, and this spare is no gimme either, just like the last one she had.
It's easy to do when your bowler as tall as Jessica is, lanky. You get that nice long backswing, nice and high. Sometimes it just takes a little mistake in the push away, and it gets magnified by the time it gets to the bottom. And with experience, as she grows into her bowling, 16, she's not done growing yet.
No, and you know, she has skills now, and they're just going to get better and more refined as she plays more.
Going back, talking to her Mom Amy and her dad Paul, brother Mitchell back there all cheering him on. Some of the rest of the youth bowlers here at Sunset Bowl keeping an eye out for her. Katie looking to get a double, and you could just kind of see the ball float down lane a little bit on her.
Yeah, kind of a soft 10. But again, at this point in the match, kind of a commanding lead. She'll fill the frame here. And
yeah, 50 plus pin lead right now if she makes this spare. If my adding is right, usually isn't, but it'll be close.
Cross lane at the spare. No trouble with the conversion. And Katie, 20 years of age, Phil. She'll be able to have that first beer soon. Yeah. We know most college students do not imbibe before they turn 21 years of age.
Well, especially the athletes down at Whitewater. I mean, it is part of the NCAA athletic program, the bowling program at Whitewater. And they recently went to the McKendree Baker Invitational. Finished in second place, so a good start to their season. Ashley Bell and Melissa Molbeck, two integral members of that team as well, and some of the other young ladies that are on that team, unfortunately, escaping my mind right now.
Yeah, and again, that's a powerful threesome right there for any women's team.
And they're all
Katie,
juniors, yeah.
Yeah, going for the 2-8 and makes it the hard way.
I'm sure she was holding her breath a little bit at the foul line when she saw that ball creep left at the 2-8, but got them both with the ball. Maintains a 39-pin lead. Jessica looking to bounce back and shoot 207, and if she strikes out, she's got the 1 in the 8th.
Yeah, she owns that right lane, Phil. It's the left lane has just gotten the better of her, but she'll be on again.
No doubt. So, won her division today. Got a little scholarship money for that. Unfortunately, not moving on to the final match with the $100 scholarship bonus, courtesy of our host here at Sunset Bowl, and the 900 Global Sure Thing Bowling Ball, courtesy of 900 Global. And once again, left, and it thought we'd just see the cold head pin, but she got it out and left the 3.
That's 3 consecutive shots that missed the head pin on the left, which I'm sure is a first for Jessica. But this spare much easier to convert than the previous 2.
Yeah, we saw her in the first frame when she left that 9 pin. She switched balls. This time she just sticks with her strike ball. You can see she broke her wrist back just a little bit. Take a little off. Covers it nicely. Well, we got pretty much looks like Katie Zwiefelhofer going to the final match here. All she's got to do is mark in the 9th or 10th frames, and she's going to advance automatically. You got the age and experience of Katie Zwiefelhofer against the youth and exuberance of Maddie Beckers. You got to think Katie the prohibitive favorite in that match, but Maddie's going to be comfortable bowling in her home center.
Yeah, Katie definitely a 2-touchdown favorite here, but you're right. Maddie in her home house, a little more familiar surroundings and comfort, but Katie doesn't really look uncomfortable right now.
No, she's got a little cheering section as well with her Whitewater teammates and her dad, so that'll help her out a little bit.
Let's see if she makes a little adjustment on this lane. Last time up, a 2-8 light.
Little farther left, that ended up.
Yeah, maybe not a good adjustment, but a double nonetheless.
You see the smile on her face as she comes back. She knows she's got another shot at it, so I'm sure it'll be adjustment number 2. Don't forget to look for that 900 Global Dirty Look in your pro shops at this time. I want to thank them for their continued sponsorship of the Youth Challenge Series this season.
That's a little more Katie-like right there.
Yes, indeed. 236 if she goes off the sheet. Nice game out there. Scored well all day. Was the leading qualifier in the 20 and 21-year-old girls age group. So,
and more importantly, a clean game for Katie. Katie does not open often.
No, that's why her and her teammate Ashley and Melissa, there weren't too many opens between the 3 of them in that division today, and that I saw. And a nice finish, 236 for Katie. Guess you can't call this a victory lap for Jessica, but just going out with her head held high. I mean, a couple minor mistakes, but to get out there under the TV lights, get a 3-bagger out there, a couple more strikes. That was just speed there.
And the fact your opponent being Katie is no easy task, and she may have put a little extra pressure on herself, knowing it would take a good 200 game to even have a chance to win.
Yeah. So she's going to be, I believe, a junior at Waukesha West this season. You can see she's wearing that Waukesha West bowling shirt. I helped Lynn Tyree Cook get that program started in 2005, 2006, so always got a little warm spot in the heart for the Wolverines out there. That's it for our girls' semifinal number 2. Katie Zwiefelhofer, Maddie Beckers for our final match. Join us back for Sunset Bowl for that in just a moment. Well, we're inside the Ram Truck Studios here at Sports Radio 1250 WSSP, sitting in with Steve Sparky Pfeiffer. And Steve, Spare Time Radio Show's been on the air for a year now. What in God's name made you go last year, Milwaukee needs a bowling radio show now?
I've been wanting to do it for 5 years, to be honest with you, and I've never had a boss that's been able to tell me, sure, go ahead and do it. Well, my boss just finally gave up. Tom Parker said, if you want to do it so bad, go ahead and do it. As long as it doesn't cost us anything, go ahead and do it. So I was like, all right, fine, I'll do it all myself. So I got Van McNeil from The Mix to come in. I got Dwight Albrecht from the Spare Time Pro Shop. That's how we came up with the name of the show in New Berlin. And us three just have a great time. And a lot of people don't realize that the commissioner of the PBA is in our backyard, obviously in Mugwanago. The PR department for the PBA is out in East Troy. So we have all the resources right here to really make this radio show go. And then with the fine job that you guys do on Time Warner 32 with all the high school bowling, Phil, we have that element as well. So not only do we talk about the PBA, we talk about high school bowling. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you think I'm going to talk about your 53-year-old butt shooting a 725 on my show, it's not going to happen because, honestly, I don't care that you shot a 723. It's more about what people can watch on TV and the youth coming up and highlighting them and the great things they're doing.
Yeah. And, of course, like you said, you got Dwight, 5-time Albrecht, coming on board. How did you guys meet? How did you know Dwight was the guy to fill that kind of color analyst shoes on your show?
Well, actually, Wes, Ronnie, and Allie, which is the morning show on Kiss FM, our sister station, they had a bowling league that I got into back when I did the morning show on SSP. That's how I met Dwight, because he was helping Ronnie Taylor, and him and his daughter bowled in the same league with us. And Dwight and myself, I believe, were the two highest averages in the league. So that's how I've known him. I stayed in contact with him the whole time. When I wanted to do the show, who am I going to get? I thought of Dwight. Dwight's pretty opinionated, so I'm like, that'll work good. And Van McNeil from The Mix came aboard after the very first show last year. Said, what's this? You're doing a bowling show? I go, yeah. He goes, well, I'm in. I'll do whatever you want. I'm in. So I said, all right. So he's come in. He's added a great element to the show as well, and it's really worked out well.
Yeah, I mean, Van definitely brings the old school look to everything when it comes to the Spare Time show in the mornings. And one of these days, we might have to try him, bowling against a two-hander on the TV show or something.
I think that'd be really good because he's very anti-two-handers. And if you've been watching Phil's great high school tournaments here on Time Warner 32, there are more and more two-handed bowlers coming up in the youth ranks, and I think that is the wave of the future. Right now in the PBA, it's all about the international guys doing it, Oscar Palermo, Jason Belmonte, and those guys, but really it's working because if you're a guy my size, let's say, who's not that big, having the two-handed bowling gets you more rev rate on your ball and allows more explosion when it hits the pocket. That's something that I was never able to have. I was always the weak curve, kind of barely just staying way outside on the right side and kind of throw it in. Never had the big hook. My brother, Lefty, huge monster hook, way out of control. To this day, he still has it, had all kinds of rev. I never got it. If I was starting over today, I would definitely go to two-handed.
You're going to the PBA World Series of Bowling soon. You're going to check that out in Vegas. If you were in Tom Clark's shoes right now, what would be the one thing that you would love to see come out of the World Series of Bowling this year?
The one thing I'd love to see come out of the World Series of Bowling this year, I'd like to see Sean Rash finally dominate. I'd like to see Sean Rash finally become the guy that everybody thinks he can become. Become not only not just the emotional guy. I compare him to Kyle Busch in NASCAR. Very emotional guy, but Kyle Busch has never been able to win a championship because he melts down at critical times. And you want to see Sean Rash get over that hump because I think if he gets over that hump, now he can become a champion and somebody you can root against at this point. I don't think it's very good for the sport to get very bland personalities. And I compare it to NASCAR again. Jimmy Johnson, very bland personality. He's won it 5 times, could win it 6 times this year. It's not good for the sport. You want your personalities to be up on top, whether that's Pete Weber or if that's Sean Rash. That's what you want.
All kinds of interviews I know you'll come back with from the World Series of Bowling. Always listen to that Spare Time Bowling Show, Sunday mornings, 9 a.m., Sports Radio 1250 WSSP.
You're not going to ask me about Sarah Rash?
We know the opinion on Sarah Rash already.
If you don't, you need to find Sarah Rash and Google Sarah Rash because his wife is gorgeous.
Absolutely. I got to agree with you on that point, Sparky. So Sunday mornings, 9 a.m., WSSP, 1250 a.m. If you're outside the listening area or if you miss a show, you can always catch the podcast at sportsradio1250.com. Sparky, thanks for sitting in with me, and we're going to get back to the bowling action here from Sunset Bowl in Waukesha in just a moment, so make sure you stay tuned. Girls Championship from Sunset Bowl for the 2012 900 Global Challenge. This is a pretty exciting matchup for me, Joey. A couple of bowlers, opposite ends of the age spectrum here for the Youth Challenge Series, with Katie at 20 and Maddie at 13. And you got to give Katie a little bit of a favorite edge here.
Yeah, she could spot her a couple frames, but anything can happen in a one-game match, such as a solid 8-pin. And,
wow.
Katie could leave all solid 8s, 9s, and 7s and not strike this match, but we doubt that will happen.
Just a phenomenally powerful ball, and that 5 just gets sawed off the 8. She takes it in stride. She just goes back. She gets her polyester spare ball off the rack, whole hum, straight at it, covers it up nicely.
Oh, yeah. I mean, whining about it or, kicking a rack does you no good to get the pin down, so keep your composure, keep your focus, and go about your business.
Oh, Maddie Beckers, nice opening game on TV in the 200s, looking to do that again because it's probably going to take at least that 202 she shot the first game to win, and just creeps a little high.
All right, and Maddie knows she's got her work cut out for her here, but again, she's an accurate player. We saw that in the first match. She's a good spare shooter, and definitely converts the 610 by hitting both pins with the ball, the recommended way.
The best way to do it. Once again, winner here today doesn't get a dirty look. They get a 900 Global sure thing bowling ball, but I'm sure we'll have some dirty looks from the... It sounds bad. You get some dirty looks from 900 Global.
Yeah. Well, and the sure thing, a good ball, a little stronger total hook than the dirty, and a little bit more for heavier oil. But the dirty look would play on this condition nicely.
And a nice bounce back shot by Maddie. She said she's not going to let bad shots carry over to her next frame as her lane strategy. She proved it right there. Hanen family, once again, our hosts here at Sunset Bowl for this tournament. Thanks again for your hosting. We know we'll see you again sometime down the Youth Challenge Series future. And tried rolling that 2-pin out from behind, threw enough stuff at it, but just didn't quite get it out there.
Yeah, I think Katie's playing a little deeper inside line, trying to kind of ride that oil line and just kind of tickle the dry portion of the track.
Well, Katie didn't get any practice between matches here. She had to wait while Maddie came back on, got a couple of shadow balls, so maybe she thought Maddie's ball could have taken a little oil off the lane on that lane, and just went a little deeper, and surprise, it's the same as it was when you left.
Katie's high series so far, lifetime high series of 767, high game of 300.
And that needs a big break and leaves the 5-9. There's one you don't see too often anymore, even with crossover shots. Usually something rolls around and takes the 9-pin out.
Yeah, and then again, double wood does not make this a give me even for Katie. Still uses the spare ball to cut down on the chop. And she makes it the hard way on the outside.
Yeah. Took the chop out of play, but you always leave that little bit of doubt. Did you cut it too much? Or are you going to slide the 5 in front of the 9?
Now, Madyson, in a key shot in the match, going for a double and the lead, and just leaked it a little bit right of her target and leaves a 1-2-8.
Yeah, the ball kind of rolled, too, a little early. It seemed like she got it out a little to the right, maybe found some of the dry of the bowlers before her burned off, but then had no recovery left, and she is a little bit more of a forward roll player than Katie. Katie's a little twirlier, I guess you could say.
And I'm sure as Madyson ages some, she's going to create a little bit more power, a little more leverage, and probably get her release point to happen a little sooner, kind of near the left ankle as opposed to a foot or so past.
She's got a tournament win under her belt. She won the 2011 State 500-600 Club Championship, so that's usually a pretty big field in that tournament. To go out there and beat literally 100 bowlers is a pretty good tournament title under your belt.
You can see that ball rolled up much better, and she's dutching right now, which gives her about a 3-pin lead.
Exactly. Katie's just sparing away so far on that little bit of saved count with a strike in the second frame is the difference at this time. Great post by Katie again. Ho-hum, kick a 10-pin out, just like she always does.
Yeah, that one's kind of Ryan Zager-like right there with all that power.
I wouldn't say it too loud. Ryan might get a big head over that one.
Not Ryan. The Z-Man.
Yeah, Ryan couldn't make this event. He's bowling at Robert Morris University in Chicago, and recently in a tournament in Indianapolis. Finished in his first all-tournament team appearance along with Mason Petrin, another Youth Challenge Series bowler. So 2 of our Youth Challenge Series bowlers bowling for Robert Morris and doing quite well for that top-ranked team down there. 4 tournaments, 4 wins for Robert Morris.
Yeah, that's an all-star team.
Team USAers, Ryan Zager, David Schwartz was on the JV. He also made all-tournament team as a JV bowler that tournament.
Yeah, there's no shortage of talent down there at Robert Morris, and going to get stronger as time goes on.
And we're going to come back with the last part of this girls' championship match from Sunset Bowl in just a moment. Make sure you stay tuned.
The freight train will allow bowlers with above average rev rates to really open up the lane. Play rather deep, generating a lot of motion, and still finish hard through the pin deck. This ball really feeds off the heaviest of oil conditions. When we chose the aggressive S77 shell, we knew we had to elongate the core to provide more length, or we would have too much hook too early on the lane. By adding the energy block to the combustion core, we could raise the RG to get pushed down the lane, but also the energy block allows us to maintain the differential, which gives us that pronounced move to the pocket you see. The freight train has a perfect match of core and cover.
Half of our championship match in the books here from Sunset Bowl in Waukesha. Maddie Beckers, prodigy of the Sunset Bowl program here, hanging on to a slight 3-pin lead, Joey, and gets lucky to just get the 8-pin out of that bucket.
And I believe she was on a strike, and that was a great shot off her hand. It just didn't quite make the corner. And, I mean, she leaves herself a challenging spare, because we know when there's more than one pin up, it's a lot of ways we can miss it.
Needs to get over hook a little bit more, and yeah, you can just see it lagged a bit.
Boy. Yeah, just a little bit on the back end, leaves the light 4, and gives Katie a lead while sitting on the bench.
Yeah, goes from a 3-pin lead for Maddie to a 9-pin lead for Katie, and you know, Maddie, she's done it all day. She says she's not going to let those bad shots carry over the next frame, and I'm sure she's just going to refocus here, throw a good shot, and bounce back. A little better off of her hand, and wow, once again, just didn't quite crawl up to the pocket. I thought that looked better than the shot in lane 4.
Yeah, I thought it was a better release, but she may have been a little further right. But again, at least she's not pulling the ball and not trusting it. Better to come light pocket than hit the nose or cross, generally.
Well, let's see if she learns her lesson off that last spare attempt, shooting at the same thing twice in a row. And yeah, she made sure she got more of that 2-pin.
Wow, yeah, and that just shows 2 pretty good attempts at the 2-4-5, and you miss it both ways.
Wow.
And that hurts, Phil. That is salt in the wound right there. Because that could have been a turkey.
Easily. You get that extra board up to the pocket, carry everything out. Instead, you go from a 3-pin lead to 20 pins in the hole. And you know Katie's up there right now just going, I'm going to end this as quick as I can.
Katie is licking her chops and gets a little quick and leaves a washout.
That's surprising.
Yes, this could be probably Katie's first Open in 5 years on TV if she doesn't convert this.
So, switches to the polyester ball, moves a little bit to the left of the lane. So, plays it nice and direct and just misses getting it over.
That's the way to do it. And with a spare ball, you don't want to rely on hook. And 1/4 inch more, and she makes it.
Well, the good news for Katie is she's still in the lead. The bad news is it's down to 5 pins from 15. That 6 count on a spare really hurt.
So, from a marathon, we now have a sprint. Let's see who can get it done in the last 5 frames.
And is she going to roll it? Nope, but a break just to leave the 3-pin. Neither one of these ladies take a lot of time. They know what they're going to do. They get up there, you see Katie, she'll fiddle with the rosin bag for a second or two. As soon as she's ready to go, get up there, line up, hand in the ball, and then starts the push away.
Yeah, Katie definitely not at her sharpest right now. Probably feels fortunate to leave 9. Gets the spare.
Yeah, she hasn't thrown it great this game, but she's in the lead. She's got a couple of bad breaks by her opponent. And Maddie, for being 13 years old and first time under the TV lights, is establishing herself out here today. Really throwing it nice, much better out of her hand. Oh, yes.
Dead flush, high pocket shot. And again, she knows the nitty-gritty time is the 8th, 9th, and 10th frames, and the match is in her hands, Phil.
217 is Maddie's maximum. 212 is Katie's maximum here, so if Maddie can double, the lead's back in her court.
Okay, she left a light 2-4-5 last time on this lane, and another shot, just a whisker light. leaving just the 2-5.
She kind of cut off the follow-through a little bit, it looked like. She just got a little tense with it, letting it go, and just didn't quite get the fingers she normally does into it. And now you got to be thinking to yourself here, what do I got to do to make one of these?
Well, I mean, just law of percentages is she will make this one. And she does, perfectly.
Still in this match, down by less than a mark, but Katie can step up here and really take a good 15-pin lead if she can double in the 8th and 9th frames. Nice, fluid, 5 steps. Perfect plant at the line. Gets the 4-7 out late.
Yeah, and Katie's using her experience right here to just hit that 1-3 and let her ball do the talking.
Looking for title number 7 on the Youth Challenge Series. Would be the all-time leader if she can get that title. Wearing that stylish High 5 Gear jersey. Want to thank High 5 Gear again for all their support of the Youth Challenge Series over the last couple of years. Oh, packs it back.
And that's vintage Katie right there. Crucial double late in the match, increasing her lead to 15 pins.
So Maddie here pretty much has to strike out to put any pressure on Katie in the 10th frame. Little over her toes on that shot and went a little high. And
yeah, that just helped it a little bit up there. Didn't want to come light again.
That's one thing, too, for Maddie. 13 years old, you're trying to throw a 14-pound bowling ball out there. Keep it in control. She's got that nice fluid drop into the swing after it pushes away. And she just got to let things happen. And, oh, jeez.
Yeah, could she have any more bad luck, Phil?
2 chops in this game. A little bit light on a bucket. And, you know, that's the difference right now.
Well, that's
she's
30
kept
pins,
yeah.
right. That's 33 pins, let's call it. And she would be in the lead.
Looks like she's going to try to get it. Oh, back in the pocket.
Yeah,
I thought it was going to be a little light
shot.
again. And
yeah, that was a great shot. I think she's seeing a little bit more back-end reaction on this left lane. So she needs to put a little pressure on Katie with a double here.
Well, even if she strikes out with 174, I mean, Katie right now has 162 if she goes gutter. So all she needs is a 6 count. First ball of the 10th, and now that point's even moot with another 2-5
right.
for.
And another shot, a good shot again off the hand, just a little light.
I'm sure her mom and dad are back in that crowd along with the rest of the people here at Sunset Bowl that came in to watch her when they heard the news she made the TV show, and you know she's going to build off of this, and I think we're going to see a lot of Maddie this year. When the middle school program starts again, she bowls the program here at Sunset Bowl for Kettle Moraine Middle School. I bet you she could be one of those top state finalists this year.
She should be proud of her accomplishment today, even though losing to Katie. She bowled a good game, Phil.
She kept up with her, just the difference on the spare making, and 2 of them were chops. You can't always, blame somebody for a chop.
And Katie gets the turkey, and she can be in the 200 range with a 9 count, I believe.
Yeah, 9 count, and a miss would still be 200, and
well, even an 8 count. 8 spare gives her 200.
Yeah. So her 7th Youth Challenge Series title, another TV appearance. Hopefully when the spring swing starts up again, we'll get to see a lot more of Katie. No, we're not going to see her, obviously, in any of the high school events. We might see her at the Wisconsin Women's Open, though. It is set that youth bowlers can enter.
And when is that, Phil?
November 25th, that'll be at New Berlin Bowl. So you'll see information on that during the telecast as well. Going to hook up, get that 5-pin out of there for a 201 to 163 victory. Handshakes, records are in the books, and Joey and I will be back to wrap up the 900 Global Challenge from Sunset Bowl in Waukesha in just a minute. Make sure you stay tuned. I have a lot of viewers that ask me, why do you have so many of your tournaments at Castle Lanes? Well, Castle Lanes is a center that has an exceptional atmosphere. The charm of being in a Northwoods cabin while you bowl, an attentive staff on the lanes and in the lounge, all the big screen TVs and a free Wi-Fi hotspot, and being named in Bowler's Journal as one of the 95 places to bowl before you die, you have to bowl at Castle Lanes. That's why we love Castle Lanes, and you will too.
Hi, this is Kerry Catania, owner of Motion Plus Lanes. Please join us Saturday, December 1st and 2nd for our Marine Toys for Tots 9-pin tap tournament. You can call us today at 414-481-0200.
Well, Joey, Pretty good matches on the show today, as always. Championship match, Katie Zwiefelhofer and Maddie Beckers. Tight match all the way through, and really the difference was just Maddie's couple of bad breaks on spare making.
Yeah, I mean, Katie came through as expected. She was the overwhelming favorite, but Madyson showed her moxie. I mean, she threw a lot of good shots, just got some bad breaks on some spares. I mean, I believe 3 misses, 2 of them being chops.
Absolutely, and now with Maddie only being 13 years old, she's got some time. She can maybe take over Katie's record of 7 U-Challenge titles someday. You never know.
Oh, without question. I mean, as she learns the sport and grows and gets a little more power on the ball with her experience and shot-making ability, she'll be here.
Well, that's it for the 900 Global Challenge Girls Finals. As always, we follow up the Girls Finals with the Boys Finals. We'll be back with that from Sunset Bowling our next show. So for my friend Joey Serrar, I'm Phil Bradlow, and parents, take the kids bowling. They'll have fun for life. We'll see you again next time from Sunset Bowling Waukesha.